day 12. So 12 equates back to a 3. And so today it's about self-belief and courage. So as we recognize in the one, that we're not our past, and we set out that new intention to have a new beginning, a fresh start, and we realize we can't change the past, that we're not our past, that we're constantly growing, changing, evolving, that we've learned a lot so far, and we can start to implement that in the next cycle. And then we recognize that we're going to ebb and flow. We're going to, some days feel great and other days feel rubbish, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just part of the process, part of the next cycle. And then we move into the 3, where we start, as we start bringing ourselves back into the moment and really establishing our intention to move into this next cycle, having the belief that you can do it, having the belief that things can be different, even if there's not the evidence, even if it doesn't feel different yet, just having the belief that things can change, and that our emotions and feelings are powerful, and they fluctuate, but holding that intention to create what it is that you would like to create, to have a way of being that feels more harmonious with who you really are, how you'd like to be, and trusting that as you believe it's possible, as you believe that things are shifting and changing, and that you can have a different mindset or a different way of being, and that the things that you feel are missing, as you start to stay present, you start to realize that actually not all those things are missing. They're there and they're available. But this does take courage. It does take courage, and it takes bravery, because as we start to move forward in our new cycle, and we want to create differently, then we're asked to make changes, to do things differently, to have different behaviors, different habits. And so sometimes, because the 3 is also about communication, and asking for that support from somebody else. If you feel like there's something that you really struggle with, or you can see that you have a habit or a tendency to go back, then ask for that support, ask for others to assist you. And sometimes we do this, don't we, with oh gosh, I talk about food a lot. I do talk about food a lot. I think it must be a big thing for me. But if I bought some, I don't know, if I wanted to stop eating, it is dark chocolate for me. If I wanted to stop eating dark chocolate, then I'd have to make either the conscious intention to not buy it. So I might say to my daughter, look, don't let me buy any dark chocolate. Don't let me, and then she could encourage me not to buy it. So, like, Mum, you said you weren't going to buy it. And then I have a choice whether to go, no, I'm just going to buy some. Or, it reminds me, it's a gentle reminder, look, you've set this intention to do things differently. And then the support comes in, via, your friends or family members or whoever, that just is that gentle reminder of, you said to me that that you would like to do this differently, and you've asked me to remind you. So how about, don't buy the dark chocolate? I'll laugh at myself. But so, we can do this in all sorts of ways. When I've had an issue to resolve in the past, I've said to my friend, okay, if I start talking about this thing, can you change the subject? Don't let me talk about it. Because, realised at the time that talking about it, nobody had the answers, nothing was going to change, and talking about something just keeps it present, it keeps it there. So these are like different tools to utilise, so we can utilise our friendships and our family members and say, look, you know, I want to make this change, I want to do things differently, you know, will you let me know if I'm, you know, if I'm going back, if I'm sliding back. And then, you know, the other thing that has just gone out of my head, let's see if it comes back. Oh, about talking. So sorry, I'm laughing because I talk so much. How could that go out of my head? So talking, you know, if we're talking about something, I think Abraham Esther Hicks says there is no gain worth talking about in pain, or there is no gain from talking about something when you're in pain. You know, and so that, you know, obviously we need to release things, but if we're saying the same thing over and over and over again, but not actually doing anything about it, then they're just words, you know. So when we need to talk about something and express ourselves, then that's really important that, you know, we feel like we have, you know, friends or someone there to listen. And if you don't have someone there to listen, I would just speak to the universe. You don't have to be religious, but if you want to speak to God, you know, just air it, just, you know, in your own head, just acknowledge, you know, that something's hard. But then don't stay there. And when we regurgitate something, when we talk about it all the time, we're just keeping it present, you know, same rubbish, different day. And then if we can utilize our friendships, or you know, the people that we do talk to, because you know, maybe they're thinking, actually, this isn't doing you any good. I'm listening to the same stuff, but you know, it's not actually helping. There's no way to help you now. You have to help yourself. And that's just a hard truth. It's a hard reality that, you know, we'd love other people to have a magic wand and to give us a solution. But that's not always the case. You know, people can listen and people can make suggestions, but ultimately the choice is ours. The choice to do things differently relies on the decisions that we make. So when we realise that we want to make a change, then looking at ways to find some motivation, some leverage, some support in that change. You know, how might we do things differently, and how might we kind of have other people assist, you know, have those friendships and those relationships just assisting with that. Other than that, I suppose you could write it down. I'm not a big writer downer. There's some English for you. So I'm not a list maker, and I know people do the, you know, the spider diagrams, you know, and write down, you know, kind of their intention and then all the different things, and that works for some people. So that might be a thing to do. So it's a constant reminder, you know, like your vision boards and your things like that, of, you know, kind of how you'd like to be, how you want to see yourself. So that's another tool as well. But generally being gentle with yourself in the process. So recognising you want this new beginning, you would like a fresh start, that you will ebb and flow to start with, and then finding ways to keep you present and moving forward, and utilising different tools to assist with that, whether it's a vision board, whether it's talking to someone and asking them for their support, and maybe just, I mean, I do think nature is a powerful healer, and depends on our intention when we go for a walk. But I often go for a walk just to be and just enjoy the you know, the energy in the woods, and it's very centering and balancing. And when we're centered and balanced, we make better choices. Our good choices come when we feel okay with things, when the mind is quiet and we feel more at peace. So the finding ways to that work for you to feel centered. And those things are generally part of your self-care. So having a lovely bath might be part of your centering. Going for a walk in nature could be part of your centering. So looking at things that help you to feel centered, and recognizing that if you can stay in that place, then you're more likely to make good decisions. When we're being challenged, and or our mind is, kind of taking a wonky direction, then much harder to stick to our plans and stick to the things that we wanting to create. So being aware of that, being aware of staying in good environments, staying around positive people, looking towards things that are inspiring, things that make you feel good, doing things that you feel passionate about, that are part of your feel good factors, utilizing nature, walking in nature with the intention to heal, the intention to balance. Nature finds its balance all the time, goes through its cycles. I marvel at the tree that just stands there, winter, summer, whatever it's snowed upon, just stands there. The sun comes out, stands there, and that's a bit like us, really, our resilience and our bravery to just be there. And the weather conditions, like life conditions, coming and going, but still growing, still strong, still blooming, still there. So there isn't a particular qigong exercise that I'm going to do with this, but just for you to maybe look at what works for you in terms of staying centered, putting those things in there, the things that feel good, and acknowledging those, and then utilizing friends and family to support you in your new endeavor, to support you with your new intentions. Okay, day 12. See ya.